One game that is coming out, and it's not a game that I'm particularly interested in, but I'm kind of excited to see how it pans out, is Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. And the
Yeah.
only reason why I'm interested in how it's going to turn out is because there's so much money behind it. With Disney, it's got Disney money behind it. And just looking at the trailer, you can see how much effort is going into the cinematics. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the gameplay turns out. It's going to be a first-person action-adventure game developed by Massive Entertainment, which is part of Ubisoft, and they'll be collaborating with Lightstorm Entertainment and Disney. And in this new standalone story, you'll play as Navi, I believe it's pronounced, and you'll embark on a journey across the western frontier, a never-before-seen part of Pandora. You'll explore a living and reactive world inhabited by unique creatures and new characters, and push back the formidable RDA forces that threaten it. There's no formal release date on that yet, just sometime in 2022, and that will be coming out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, XS, PC, Stadia, and Luna. So, any thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's well, the 3D interactive world I could see being really cool. Um, yeah, like if it was looking at like the trailer and stuff that I saw, it looks like there was a little bit of in-game footage of them like running through the jungle,
Mhm.
first person. I thought, if they can really capture that very well of being like in this alien jungle and like maybe even having some like survival type elements to it, like I could see that being really awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not just a bunch of Disney board members who don't even play video games, calling the shots. Because if it is, then it's just gonna be a generic, shallow experience. So, we'll see about
I
that.
must find my gay lover across the lands of Noilaconton. And the angry white man comes and raises his fist down upon me,
Yeah, the
trying to destroy Mother Nature.
evil corporation coming in to destroy
We
everything.
rose up, we formed a resistance.
It's crazy how many stories, like how many cartoons and stuff, push the idea that businesses are bad. It's like every corporation is out there to destroy the world. Like, nah,
Mhm.
whatever. Um,
Well, the biggest like company in the world, by the way, does that.
the biggest company in the world is making this game, so
Yeah,
fuck them.
yeah,
Fuck Disney. Watch, they're gonna send a hitman to my house now.
yeah.
Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Uh,
So I saw one thing I saw on that Ubisoft show was the Riders Republic, which looked very corny. Um, but they were showing off all multiple different types of like extreme sports. Um, and I get the feeling that it might be something kind of looks like it might be a like Steep, like if I ever saw that, which was their Ubisoft's snowboarding game. It was actually really cool because like you had skiing stuff and you could move around this open world and go down these huge mountains. But it always kind of lacked like objectives and like it could have used like unlocks or some sort of RPG element or some sort of better like competition element to it. But it was really cool. So I could see this being something like a la that, but with less focus on just snow and more focus on riding bikes. I saw like the wingsuits, which they did have in Steep, which were a lot of fun. Um, so I thought that might be interesting. I could also see it being bland and a failure like Steep was.
yeah. Well, and that's coming out on almost all the major platforms, but not on the Nintendo. It doesn't say here that it's coming out for Nintendo. But the release date on that is September 2nd, 2021. So that's right around the corner.
Yeah,
Um,
not a long way.
so I'm not familiar with Riders Republic. So there's multiple different sports games on it. Like, so it's like a bunch of
Well,
different games in one. Is that?
yeah. Well, I just know from the trailers and stuff, but it seems like it might be just like Steep was, where it's you have all these sports in it, but it's not like separate games. You're like one guy out there, and then you can switch to your wingsuit, or switch to your snowboard or your skis and do
Oh,
this trail.
interesting.
Yeah, and you can teleport to a new spot and shred down the mountain.
Gotcha.
And some stuff you do have to like snowboard, parachute, wingsuit. You know, it's pretty sick.
You're like a Navy SEAL of sports.
Absolutely, dude. James Bond.
Yeah.
James Bond.
That scene where he's like snow skiing down a mountain like with an assault rifle. It's like, wow, really? So over
He's
the
like
top.
doing like tricks, dude.
Backflip.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this the crouton machine guns, motherfucker.
Yeah. So anything else on that one?
No. It was just something that caught my eye a little bit. I don't know. Very neutral on it.
My guess is that it's going to be a generic sports experience. That's just my intuition.
Yeah, but Steep, I either got it for free or I got it for very cheap. I think free actually, and I actually did enjoy it for the low cost of free.
Yeah. One of the games showcased this year that I'm actually excited about, and it's something that I haven't gotten to do in a long time.
Just Dance.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't you tell? I just love dancing.
Yeah.
That's me.
Dancing cool.
Battlefield 2042. It's an upcoming first-person shooter video game. I'm sure everybody who plays video games knows that. It's developed by EA Dice and published by Electronic Arts. It's the 17th installment in the Battlefield series. 17th installment. Think about that. The title is scheduled to be released on October 22nd, 2021 for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and Series S. Similar to its predecessors, Battlefield 2042 is a multiplayer-focused first-person shooter. The game is set in the near future, so it'll feature futuristic weapons and gadgets like deployable turrets and drones, as well as vehicles that players can...
So it's Battlefield Modern Warfare.
Yes, pretty much. It's also going to introduce a new Plus system, which allows players to customize their weapons on the spot. The class system's been significantly overhauled as well. Players can select to assume control of a specialist who falls under the 4 traditional Battlefield gameplay classes, like Assault, Engineer, Medic, and Recon. These characters can wield all the weapons and gadgets players have unlocked. Each of them also have their own unique skills and gadgets. For instance, one of the specialists is equipped with a wingsuit. Wingsuits seem to be a popular thing in video games nowadays. Yeah. While another is equipped with a healing pistol. Very realistic. There will also be extreme weather effects, such as tornadoes and sandstorms, to kind of, fuck with the map a little bit on that. There'll be one thing that's kind of cool that I actually like with this one is there's going to be bots. So you can team up with your friends and play against bots on a map, which will be a good way to kind of get used to the maps. With games like Battlefield and most first-person shooters, I think a lot of it comes down to knowing the maps really well. And I hate jumping into games like Battlefield where you jump in and everybody is so good. It's like, really, they're not that good. They just know the maps. So this will allow newer players to get familiar and comfortable with the maps. That way, when they go and play people, they just don't get slaughtered every 2 seconds.
I haven't played a Battlefield or a COD in a long time. Maybe since Bad Company 2. But, yeah. I mean, I've thought about getting back into them fairly recently. Maybe I'll give this one a try.
Yeah.
Doubt it, though. It just doesn't seem that appealing to me, the semi-futuristic, slight future
healing pistols
battle. Yeah, that's a little weird. Although I do like being healer in video games. I always played healer in Battlefield games, so
I'm always a DPS guy.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it'll be like the next big one.
Yeah, I've enjoyed previous Battlefield games. I like how they have so many RPG elements with customizing your loadouts and mods and stuff like that. And I think as far as first-person shooter games go, especially when you compare it to like a game like Call of Duty, I would definitely lean towards Battlefield being the better, superior game to Call of Duty.
I enjoy it more. I definitely enjoy it more. I like with the cars and the vehicles and the planes and shit like that. I like having the crazier chaos.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, what's interesting about this new Battlefield is that they're actually kind of designing the multiplayer maps. So they're trying to prevent grief kills where like you're just running and then you get sniped and then you respawn and you get sniped. What they're doing is that they're kind of creating these different areas where in one part there'll be like a stadium. So that's kind of where if you got longer range weapons, you can go and hope someone runs through there. So they're working a lot on the maps, implementing a lot of thought into that. So hopefully, I think it's going to turn out well. I'm actually excited about it, and I don't typically get excited about games. So hopefully my hype doesn't let me down on this one.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I'm sure it will too. Almost always does.
Yeah.
It's best to go into things
Almost always.
with low expectations. One thing you'll learn in life as you get older, have low expectations.
Yeah.
So sad.
I learned early on. Give up. Give up really early. Don't try it either.
Yeah. You'll just be disappointed.
Yeah. There are actually quite a few things I liked. Another one I saw was Metal Slug Tactics, another tactics game. So yeah, just looks like Metal Slug graphics, Metal Slug IP characters, but it's a tactics game. And I really liked, there was an old Game Boy Advance game, Advanced Wars. And it has a huge like Advanced Wars thing going on, and I really enjoyed Advanced Wars. So, if it's similar to that,
Ooh.
I think I'll enjoy this.
It looks good. I like tactics games a lot, and I like this art style. And it harkens back to the days of arcades, which I'm a little too young for the arcade days. But I wasn't so young that I didn't enjoy Metal Slug at the hockey rink,
Yeah.
So that's cool that they're turning that into a tactics game. It'll be nice to have that Metal Gear or Metal Slug name back in the pool, the video game pool.
Yeah, well, they've been doing other stuff. I feel like I saw a mobile game recently. Seems like they're trying to get it out there. Yeah, should be cool. We'll see though. I don't know any of the details about the actual tactics yet.
Yeah, well, for the most part, like so far with E3, we're missing it right now. Like it's live right now, and I'm gonna look at it later tonight after this podcast. I'm really excited to see if they're gonna say anything about Elder Scrolls 6. That's one game. No, you don't think so?
I don't think so.
You don't think it's gonna be good, or you don't think that they're gonna say anything about it?
I don't think they're gonna say anything about it.
Oh. Well, I would rather them not say anything about it and take their time and make sure that's actually put together and well produced by the time they release it. I would rather them take all the time in the world and just make sure that it comes out badass, than push it. If they announce it now, there's going to be expectation.
Yeah. Not me. I want it to suck, and I want it to be out now.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get for being pushy.
I want to be complaining about it now.
Yeah, fucking Bethesda. Goddamn assholes.
Bethesda.
Yeah.
For you, Todd Howard. I know what you did to your dog.
It just works, man. Just works.
You know what you did to your dog, Todd Howard. You know what you did.
So one of the games that has really been getting pushed so far in E3 is Far Cry 6. It's like the biggest game, it seems like, that's being pushed by everybody. And we talked about it a little bit in our last podcast, I think. It's the 6th main installment in the Far Cry series. It's going to be out on all the major platforms except, again, Nintendo. And in case you've never played a Far Cry game, it's an open world action-adventure, first-person shooter with some RPG elements to it. This one is going to take place on the fictional Caribbean island of Yara, which is inspired by Cuba and described as the largest Far Cry map to date. In the game, it's ruled by El Presidente Anton Castillo, who is a fascist dictator with full control over the island. Castillo is guiding his son Diego who is unsure of his own future to follow in his footsteps. You'll be playing a character named Danny Rojas, who is a former soldier in the Yaren Armed Forces. There's no real customization you can do to that character, but in the beginning of the game, you'll be able to choose if Danny is male or female. So that's all I got on that.
I guess I just thought it was going to be a female. It's interesting they're doing a choice when this is like the first time it seems like they've given the characters personality. So it's weird when you it would have made more sense when they had no personality to have the switch. But now that they've actually seems to put work into the actual characterization of the character, they're like, oh, now you have a choice. We did 2 whole separate actors. We did like the Mass Effect thing. Yeah. I mean, before when the guy just never spoke, but only said generic stuff, we could have done it then.
Yeah,
it would have been easy. But
yeah,
it's weird. It's interesting.
Yeah, that is an interesting choice for sure. I mean, I would have just figured that they would have just stuck with the female character.
Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, I would have. I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah. Anything else about that one?
No, I think I said most of what I want to say last week. It looks cool. I would say I'm a little excited to play it. Like, I do like Far Cry games, and Cuba just seems like a really cool place to put your video game. And I really like playing video games in new environments and inspired by cultures that you don't see a lot. Makes it far more interesting. The little things around you, so that should be cool. And I do also I did like the upgradable, weird kind of weapons. So kind of like was it Dead Rising?
Whoa!
Where you'd make all the
I haven't heard that game in a long time. Yeah, you could really customize the shit out of your weapons in that game.
Yeah, so I wonder if it'll have maybe a little bit of that. We'll see.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I've always really liked that, being able to do heavy customization on weapons and armor and stuff like that.
Also, wiener dog in a wheelchair. That's all you need.
Yeah. It's just some hipster at Ubisoft that was like, I got an idea and everybody's going to love it. And he was right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm buying the game because of that, so.
We would be remiss if we did not speak about one of the most heavily anticipated games from E3. At least
Just Dance.
Just at least in the Ubisoft section is Elden Ring. Have you heard about this one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be an action role-playing game developed by From Software and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment.
Bandai Namco.
The game is being directed by Hitaka Miyazaki, with world building by
Hitaka Miyazaki.
And George R.R. Martin, best known for Game of Thrones, is going to be working on the story for the game. The work began on Elden Ring in early 2017, following the release of The Ringed City, which was a piece of downloadable content for Dark Souls 3. As with games in the Souls series, players will have the ability to create their own custom character instead of using a fixed protagonist. Yeah. Miyazaki also considered Elden Ring to be a more natural evolution to the Souls series, featuring an open world with new gameplay mechanics such as horseback riding and combat. Unlike many other open world games, Elden Ring will not feature populated towns with NPCs. Instead, there will be just numerous dungeon-like ruins where there would otherwise be towns. And this is going to be released on all the major systems, except, again, Nintendo, because all you Nintendo people can go fuck yourselves. It's going to be released on January 21st, 2022. So.
Okay. I would say it looks like a Souls game. It does not... there is, I would say there's a slight difference I see in the kind of the cultures they're plucking from, whereas Dark Souls is more of a Japanese spin on European medieval time period. This seems like the same exact thing, but maybe a little more Norse heavy. I saw touches of that.
It looks
Um,
beautiful. The trailer. Oh man, that look. I think it looks
but
amazing.
it looks great, but all the Souls games look great. Like still, like Dark Souls 3 still looks really good. This just seems like a step past it, but it doesn't. It doesn't look spectacular to me. I mean, I'm gonna love it because I've loved all the Dark Souls games. I really, really enjoy those games. But it doesn't seem from the trailers. It doesn't. I don't know that I've seen that it does anything different yet. It doesn't look like it's blowing my mind. And as for the open world stuff, I mean, what do they mean by that? Because you could say that they've all been open world in a way, even though they're clear levels that, but they flow together all as one. So, I mean, with the horse, it means that we are going to actually have more of a open world instead of like clear channels that lead you into different sections. Because you got to have some open space for a horse to run. Dark Souls is not; it's very ledge heavy games. It seems like you're always on a ledge or a bridge or something. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that. How do you make a game extra challenging when you can't fall off of anything? If you're like in a meadow or something. But also the horse combat will be cool. So it'll be interesting to see how that's done. How will your weapons and your class stuff affect your horse riding ability? Because like in all the other games, obviously, if you're weighing too much weight, then you have a slower roll and move slower. Um, and will all the weapons have different custom animations for while on a horse and not on a horse? So there's a lot of like there's some exciting ideas in it, I guess, but overall, I'm just interested to play a new like Dark Souls game in anyways.
I've got a feeling that people are going to be disappointed with it, just simply based on what I was seeing in the comments section. Like,
George R. R.
well,
Martin.
no, everybody's hyping it up so much, and
Yeah.
there's just no way it's going to reach those expectations. There's no game that ever will. Um, so and it's weird because like everybody is talking shit all throughout yesterday's E3. Everybody, and I do agree to it. A lot of the games that I was seeing, it's just like, what college kids made this fucking garbage?
Mhm.
Not, but like a lot of the games coming out are generic, and it's just beating a dead horse. It's the same type of game, except it's less well produced. Like seriously, a lot of the games coming out look like shit from E3 from yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody was talking shit.
There was quite a few I liked.
I thought a lot of the indie games looked okay. But a lot of the
Yeah.
games that had like 3D graphics and you kind of had that like, oh look at us, we're more of a AAA type of game. A lot of those look really disappointing, and a lot of them look cringy,
Mm.
like the audio and just the generic graphics and like doing a type of game that's already been made a million times. And but like with Elden Ring, everybody was like, oh, this is gonna be the best game ever. Like skip to that and let's just talk about that. And everybody agreed. Like there was no shit talking about Elden Ring.
I saw there's like a couple other ones. Some of these are indie that I saw, but 2 Point Campus looks cool to me. That 2 Point Hospital is basically a reimagining of Sim Hospital from back in the day. Or no, Theme Hospital. And it's you have wacky diseases, and you're creating like, oh, I've got clownitis, and the person's treating a clown, and so your hospital needs a declownifier, and then you need a doctor to run your declownifier, and just a very light-hearted, tongue-in-cheek hospital management sim. And so 2 Point Hospital came out 2-3 years ago and was a very solid reimagination of that game. It was very fun. Not the most in depth, but that wasn't its goal. Its goal was to be very Theme Hospital style, and they did that very well. And so it's kind of cool to see them. They're going to do the same thing with this for campuses. So it's going to be like a simulation, campus simulator, academy simulator type game. And I'm interested to see what wacky little animations and ideas they have for, what classes, like I'm teaching advanced googly eye making, or,
Huh.
you know, a little lighthearted, fun, colorful management sim to, relax before you're going to bed or, whatever. And it looks cute, looks fun. I like Theme Hospital or 2 Point Hospital, so I'll probably like this as well.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of The Sims a little bit with like how you can build like little roads and then like you can build like the actual structure of the campus itself.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it looks like a cool little game.
But another management style game I saw, I think maybe you played this, maybe you didn't, but the Jurassic Park Evolution, they're making a second one.
No, I've always been really tempted to get the first one, and I saw on Epic Games that the second one's coming out, and I'll probably get it. I just never got the first one, but it looks awesome, I think.
Yeah, I'll have to wait and see, because the first one's not very good. It's interesting in the fact that it's a management style game, like a park management game with dinosaurs. We all get it. However, instead of the management being the focus and like earn this and do this, it's kind of got missions and storyline missions. So you're kind of doing this storyline and playing through, which makes it pretty interesting. I haven't seen a lot of games do that. However, the downsides, I think, come with the fact that it's very shallow in many of the management aspects, and it's almost kind of like a streamlined semi-management game, but more looking at dinosaurs and trying to complete these little side missions or story missions.
Yeah, it looks good. I think I might give it a shot once it comes out. I like the idea of it, so it will just
of course
depend on the exit.
You're a big JP fan.
Yeah, anything with dinosaurs.
Yeah. Was that all that you saw though from E3?
Well, God, the whole thing was like fucking 20 hours long.
Yeah, I didn't watch Supercuts.
God.
Get me in and out of here. I don't care about fucking.
Yeah.
Mario Rabbids too.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I just kind of skipped through it, and like I would try to skip forward a little bit and see like the new trailer, and and it looked like a lot of good indie games are coming out, and then like I said, a lot of the games that were trying to aim to be more AAA kind of look like they're not hitting the mark. So
did you see that Evil Dead game?
I caught a glance of it, and that fell into the generic category for me.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what type of game it was because it looked like it was going to be like one of those asymmetrical fight each other games, but you're all just playing different Evil Dead characters or something.
Yeah, I just saw the graphics and a little bit of the gameplay, and I was like, skip forward. There's another 8 hours to skip through here, so.
Yeah, because like I would love an Evil Dead game, but if it's the game like that, I'm like, ugh, no thanks. I do not. Yeah, like almost like a Friday the 13th style game or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just kind of generic shots of different Evil Dead characters killing something, in like an animation. You're like, okay, wait, I don't understand anything about this game. Who are we killing? Are we together fighting NPCs? Are we fighting each other? Is it an asymmetrical game? What's happening?
If I had to envision an Evil Dead game in the way that I would want it to be, I would kind of want it to be like Dead Island. Like a newer version of Dead Island.
Yes. But you play as Bruce Campbell with him saying hilarious shit.
Duke Nukem style.
Killing zombies all day. And then like, oh, I got to make a new arm. And this is my machine gun arm.
Mm-hmm. You see a new Perfect Dark game is coming out?
No. Oh, I see it's coming out, yeah.
Yeah, there's a new Perfect Dark game coming out.
That's been in the works for a while, right?
I don't know, but like Perfect Dark Zero, when that came out, I thought that was a shitty game. Especially like coming from the N64, the N64 Perfect Dark was an amazing game because it was like GoldenEye, made by the same company, Rareware, except it really expanded on multiplayer, and I still don't understand why games don't do it nowadays. In Perfect Dark for the N64, you could have bots on your team, and you could customize them. So you could have like really fast bots on your team, but they had low health, or you could have really highly defensive bots that had a lot of health, but like they were inaccurate. And you could also tell them to like hold position, so you could like set them up almost like a turret defense game. So you could set them up in different spots. You could hide them behind crates. You could pull them up on ledges and tell them to hold position. You could have them follow you. Like Perfect Dark for the N64 was
awesome.
a fucking amazing game, and I would like to see them kind of try to implement that kind of stuff into this new one. I didn't see any real gameplay footage this E3. It was mostly cinematic, and in the chat people were talking shit.
Yeah, because they announced it, I guess, like what, last December or something. So it's weird that it's been announced for so long and yet they didn't show it at all.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Well, maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't. It's hard to tell with these. Literally like a 50-50 shot at this point.
That's one of those games where like I'll wait like 6 months and see how it does.